Hi, it's dark in my house because it's dark outside because it's Ohio and 5 o'clock. So it's basically the dead of night. And I was just thinking about this TikTok I saw where this creator who, for good reason, has like beef with certain aspects of sewing. And I totally get it. I think the big ones she said were hand sewing and things related to hand sewing and also sewing linings into your garment. And this is no shade to her because I feel it. When I first started sewing, I also had issues with all of that too. The thing that really cemented me not hating any of those things was about falling in love with the process of sewing, because there will be times where your need to finish a project outweighs your desire to actually improve as a sewist. So for me, that meant like I recently had a project where I had hours and hours and hours and hours of hand sewing. Like the stuff I was doing was too delicate to go through machines. So I had to use hand sewing, and it really cemented my hand sewing skills. I'm still not the best hand sewer, but it is much better than it was, say, a year ago from today. And now, as I work on my projects and trying to teach myself pattern drafting with a block for my body, because my body has weird little Victorian proportions, and also learning how to embrace like all of the things that take extra time, but like are the difference between how fast fashion feels on your body versus how something well made feels on your body. Like you will find that those skills of hand finishing and linings and facings are all important to make your clothes feel well made, because you're taking the time to make them yourself for your body. You theoretically, this is not for everyone, but I think this mentality should be for everyone. You should want to have them as well made as your skill will allow, so that one, you can improve, and two, you can feel good about wearing those clothes over and over again because they're going to last. And it can be like really frustrating when you're starting out to really figure that out, but you will have a project one day that will make you want to do all of the hard work that isn't really seen very well, like the quote unquote couture finishes, the linings, the French seams, the flat felt, all the things that are kind of that will keep your garment together for a long time, but aren't necessarily seen when you're wearing that product out and about. So and then that makes your clothes feel like luxurious, even if they're not made of the most luxurious materials. That's the difference between fast fashion and, well-made garments, really. And once you learn that, your brain starts to be like, ooh, maybe I'll just hand finish this and that's fine. And then you're like, where was I a year ago where I was like, I won't do anything but use a serger. I don't care. So yeah. Start with something that you are scared of, like real quick. Like, for example, doing a project with as many French seams as possible. That sounds like crazy to someone who's like an absolute beginner, but like, trust me, it's going to look so nice. You're going to be like, gosh, why I'm not doing this for every project. And then you're going to be like, okay, well, what if I add a lining to this thing that doesn't call for a lining? How does that work? And then you start learning like what works when you should use other techniques. And then you start becoming like really, really good at sewing and you don't even realize it. So this is my way of saying, hey, learn to do the thing you hate doing and learn to love the thing you hate doing, because all clothing is handmade. Every single bit of clothing is handmade on this planet. Yes, some people are pushing things through machines, but someone has to push that garment through a machine. And that is the difference between stuff that is made for fast fashion and made to be quick, rather things that are made to last. Yeah, and that's how you make sewing punk. Okay, bye.